Are you a beginner woodworker or DIY or need help picking quality wood and not sure how? Are you stuck shopping at the big box stores? Well, this is the video for you. Hi, I'm Joe with DeCastro's Woodworks, and here is your quick guide to buying wood from a big box store. Our favorite big box stores tend to get a bad rap for their selection of wood. So many things from how it looks, how it's stored, its sizes, how much it costs, and many more things. But don't worry, I have some tips that are sure to help with this. I'm going to show you the 4 things you need to look for and how to look for these things when finding a better quality of wood. We're going to focus on the twist, the bow, the cup, knots, cracks, and splits. The culprit of twisting, bowing, cupping, cracking, and splitting is the moisture content. When the wood dries out unevenly, it causes the natural movement to shift unevenly in the wood. A twist is when the board sort of corkscrews, as you see here in this nightmare of a piece of wood I found at one of my local big box stores. The board corkscrews right in the middle, causing this piece to look, well, like a nightmare. A bow is when the piece arches and bends in one direction. A cup is where the board sort of folds, bows in the hot dog style. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it, is it folding hot dog style. How you check for these things is super easy. You just grab it into the board like this, and then you just look right down the sides of it. You want to check each edge and each plane of the board to look for all these issues. Now, if you do find any of these issues, there are ways to correct them, using a planer and I believe a jointer as well you can use. But it also, if you find a slight bow or a slight twist or a slight cup or something like that in the piece, you don't necessarily have to overlook it, depending on what the project you're working on is. It all comes down to what your plan for the piece is, and if you're okay with eating some costs if it does produce unusable scrap. But, that's all up to you. After you check for twists, bows, and cups, you're going to want to check the ends and faces for any knots, cracks, or splits. Make sure you take a little time and scan them with your eye very well. There's been plenty of times that I have checked a piece, thought it was good, bought it, and when I got it home, I noticed there was little cracks in it, maybe a split I missed. Those are the 4 main things you want to look for when buying wood from a big box store. Now, here are a few bonus tips that I learned along my journey of woodworking and DIYing. The first thing we're going to look at are barcodes. I'm sure if you have bought lumber from one of our favorite big box stores, you notice that they stick the UPC onto the actual piece itself instead of stapling onto the end grain there. This is incredibly frustrating because, a lot of time you try to peel that thing off and it leaves that papery residue. I learned that a heat gun does the trick to peel these clean off. The next tip is measure the pieces yourself. I've had a few pieces from big box stores that were not the accurate dimensions as advertised. Most memorably, I bought a 1x6 by 6 foot piece of pine, and it came in a few inches shorter on the width. So I recommend bringing your own tape measure or just borrow one from the tool section. This last one is less of a tip and more of a realization I made one day in a big box. A lot of the wider pieces from the 8-inch to 12-inch width range are just thinner strips kind of glued together, most of which the grains don't match or even look good together, which I thought was kind of funny. And those are my tips. Let us know down in the comment section if you have any more tips, tricks, or advice, or anything like that I did not cover here. I'd love for myself and all of you out there to improve in your woodworking and DIY journey. Also, let me know what you think about the video and if you want to see more like it. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.